for Tomcat crews, if it wasn't the enemy, or landing 23 tons of metal aboard a floating runway trying to kill you, you could always count on the weather to make it even more challenging. As if bringing the Tomcat aboard the carrier wasn't hard enough, Mother Nature had the habit of testing just how good you really were.
So our adventure started in the Indian Ocean in 1989 when we were in VF2, flying off the Ranger one evening, and it was a massive thunderstorm in the North Arabian Sea. There's no way we thought we were going to go flying that night.
It's blue water ops, so no diverts anywhere
Or at least
close
they told
to the
us
carrier.
that anyway.
So yeah, we head out to the jet. As Rico was saying, he stood underneath while I did the pre-flight and got soaked, and we both got soaked. Get in the jet, and we're thinking to ourselves, in fact, we're talking to ourselves saying, there's no way we are going flying tonight.
Right, because the recovery ahead of us, nobody could get aboard. It's raining, the winds are out of limits, and we're just sitting there going, no, we're not going flying.
Lightning in all quadrants. It's like, this is just going to be an event of start it up, and then the adult supervision will come and say, let's do a cank.
Right, and then the next thing you know, the director runs up, and instead of shut it down, he's like breaking it down. And we're like,
means uh-oh.
And I remember we're just going to respot the deck. That's what they're doing. They're
Yeah.
taxiing us forward to respot the deck because nobody's going flying in this weather.
So sure enough, they taxi us to the cat, and the whole time Rico and I are going, this is not really happening.
Right. When they ran up with the wakeboard, I went,
Uh-oh.
So
we're going flying.
right. So this is going to be a good sea story, but it
Yeah.
turned out to be a great sea story.
Well, yeah. So off the cat stroke, I don't know if you remember, something on the LOX bottle disconnected. So suddenly I'm sucking no air. So after I get the gear up, the mask comes off. So that's maybe the first indicator that this might not be a normal flight.
Right. And then they vectored us out to do just a quick AIC hop.
Quick
You
AIC.
haven't had a night trap in at least.
That's probably
That was your night to get back in qual.
to get back in qual. So here it is. We are getting thrown around pretty good. In fact, I would say I wasn't pretty much flying the jet. I was holding on because we were getting thrashed pretty good throughout this embedded thunderstorm that we're flying through.
Right.
No kidding. We break out, and almost by the time we got to the outer station, they said, "Come on back." Now we have to dump 7,000 pounds of gas, and the whole time I'm dumping, I'm going, I don't know if I should really be doing this, although we have to get down to a max trap weight.
Right.
So I have to do it, but something in all the little hairs are going, you might not be wanting to dump as much as you have to. But anyway.
The thing I remember is you going, you know what I think I got? Vertigo. And I'm thinking as a Rio going, oh, I don't want to hear this.
I do remember, though, having flown through bad weather before, that was the most violent weather that we came through, literally just getting thrashed about.
Right. But they vectored us right in on final.
Flying in the needles, on and on, looking good. We break out, and I look up, and I don't see anything. And I call Clara, back on the needles, working hard, on and on, look out again, don't see the ship. They go, you look good, keep it coming. And something out of the corner of my eye, I turn, and the ship's over there, and we're pointed that way. So I knew the winds were pretty much out of limits, but I go ahead and make the play, and the LSOs see that, get out of here. So we wave it off and tell us go to 1,500 feet.
Right, we're
low
in
holding
forever.
Yeah, and there the Odyssey almost begins.
Right.
Because now it's a matter of patience, which we were eventually going to lose a little bit of.
Right.
But we sit there and wait as they get the plan together to now launch tankers to take everybody else to Masira, I want to say.
Right.
Our divert field, which
Right.
is, I don't know, 500 miles away, 400 or 500 miles away. And there we sit.
Right. And the next thing you know, we need gas, and we need gas now because the low fuel lights are coming on.
I want to say we got down to 2,000 pounds. And I want to say 4,500 pounds is our on deck at nighttime. So we get down around 2,000 pounds, and Timmy Schaefer is in an S3, and he comes up and says, I got 1,000 pounds to give. I just got done tanking somebody. And Rico is on it like
Right.
white on rice. He goes, We'll take it. Where you at? So we go ahead and join up on shaft, plug them. We're getting the gas, and the plan is now starting to come together. I'm starting to feel a little bit better because the Maxi A6 is now joining on shaft also. So it's going to be perfect. We unplug. There's the tanker. We go ahead. He brings the chute out, and boom, we plug him. It's pretty much, we're in and out of cloud. It was just the most challenging tanking I've ever done because it's nighttime. You're in and out of the clouds, in and out of lightning all over the place. And
You plugged first time. It was a good one.
it was good, but it was not your standard hit it and see a little recoil. It was just put it in there. And he goes, I don't show you in the basket.
Yeah.
Okay, so we pull out, plug him again.
Low fuel lights are coming on again.
Yep, because this has taken some time. He goes, no, I don't see in the basket. I'm like, hey, okay, unplug, and this time it's cannonball.
Pager,
coming.
hit that thing as hard as you can and push it all the way up in there.
Boom, hit it, and that sine wave on the hose. I was hoping that it wasn't, when it came back, wasn't going to rip our probe off,
right,
which has happened before, not to us, but to other airplanes. So there's no question we are in the basket.
No flow.
Yeah, he goes, sour tanker.
So I said, recycle one more time, and he put the basket in and let it go, and the whole thing came out and went into the ocean. So at that point, it was like, these things don't happen to me. These things happen to other people. That's what I was thinking about.
We realize now that we're not going to get gas from this guy. What popped into my head was the fact that due to weather avoidance, the A6 tanker pilot had gone wings level. So now we are 30 miles away from the ship versus doing the standard cruising around on top of mother. So she's right there, 30 miles away. So I look down and go, okay, great. And I look over to the gas. We're 1.8, 1.7. And it's like, okay, this is not going to help the situation. So we turn. Now the big cell is between us and the ship. So we have to go around that cell. And just about that time, CAG comes up and goes, we're going to have to barricade you. And
right.
Disbelief. I was like, are you kidding me?
Me too.
Barricade, that's, do they think we can't get aboard? Well, I mean, what's going on? And he explains that, hey, you hit the magic number, we got to do it. Okay, so they start briefing us on what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm. I remember we're supposed to jettison our tanks and all our ordnance. I said, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, no, I mean, come on. That's
right. I know my pilot will get me aboard.
Absolutely. So we're getting the brief from CAG Paddles. Steve, call sign Steve.
Go ahead and give me one more 360 here, Tom. The barricade's not ready yet.
We're coming in. We're probably around 2 miles, maybe 2.5 miles. Mm-hmm. And they say, well, why don't you give us a 360?
Right. They had rigged the barricade upside down.
We did not.
Needed to re-rig the barricade.
We did not realize that at the time. But we're like, oh, okay. So here it is. We go through, do our 360. And we're now getting into around 2 miles. Hey, Pager, why don't you just give us one more 360?
Right. And that's when Tom came up and said, you got to take us now.
Well, they're still in the port turn there. I'll let you know what they expect of us. I have to take me now. Yeah, you got to take me now. 300, Roger, come left now.
And at that point, I went, wow, this is an emergency.
The barricade's not ready yet.
And this is, as we're halfway through the second 360, CAG comes up and goes, save your fuel state. And I knew at this point, just because Rico had been as cool as the other side of the pillow the entire time, just low key, but he comes up with 900 pounds, and you could almost hear the disgust and the, come on guys, you got to get something going here.
What's your state, 200? 900 pounds.
So at that point,
we just flew our own VFR pattern behind the ship.
Absolutely.
We didn't listen to anything they said at that point.
So it was like, hey, man, take your knee board off, tighten them down, because now I looked over, the tapes are pretty low. And I remembered, what's it, like 300 or 400 pounds gauge error per side. So we're approaching where we're on fumes. And I said, hey, Ricky, since I have the mask off, dangling still, and it's distracting to talk as you're trying to fly to final. And so I just said, hey man, I'm gonna fly this thing until I can't fly it anymore. If something goes on, i.e. if we're getting in close and, we flame out a motor, I'm just going to yell, eject, eject, eject. I'll continue flying it as best I can, but you're going to be the one punching us out. So at that point, I hadn't even thought about that prior to.
Right.
But then it's like, it's go time
Right.
now. I mean, there's no turning back. And
as you look at the plat tape, you can see when I called the ball, the stanchions are coming up and the barricade had just gotten rigged.
it literally was coming up when we were probably at the 3/4 mile point. So 15, 20 seconds before we land
Right.
is when they finally QA'd it and said, okay, the big steel cable is not going to be at head level like it originally was. They flopped it.
We have paddles contact. Keep working just a little low there. Keep working it over the center line. Okay, we got a clear deck. Call the ball. Surround Tomcat ball 6-0. Okay, roger ball. Go over to left a little. Bring it left. Talk in that lineup. Come left a little. Nice and easy. Little power. Cut, 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 cut. Good barricade. Good engagement. Nice job, Pager.
Targeted the one wire, landed, and our night was over.
I think we both ducked when we went through.
Oh yeah, it was like something.
The barricade.
It was just a reaction, because suddenly you see something, and we both kind of did that. I'll never forget Munch, our maintenance officer, was the first guy to meet the jet, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna have him drain the fuel and see how much flying time you had." I'm like, "Munch, I don't want to know that.
Yeah.
I don't want to know that at all." But then, of course, he comes back and goes, "Yeah, like 90 seconds of flying time left." I'm like, "Hey, I appreciate that. I thought I said I didn't want to know that."
I just remember trapping and looking up at the island, and it was just covered with people.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wanted to come out and see the Tomcat kill himself.
Yeah. So we get back to the ready room and filling out the reports. So it's probably by the time the reports are done, 2 a.m, and I look at the schedule. I'm on the first brief in like 4 hours. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right.
No medicinal brandy, no
Right.
nothing. It's I'll get 3 hours of sleep. And he's like, sorry.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the
do you
only spot
remember
I
the
had.
XO told us to go down to medical? We had to give blood because it was a mishap.
I guess 30 plus years of the Tomcat, this was the only night barricade.
Right. I think there were 3 total, and we had the only night one.
So we got that going for us.
Which is
Which
nice.
is nice.
Please like and share if you find the video content interesting. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss new upcoming videos. And check out our website to look into all of our films. Thanks for watching.